Hey guys, this is Magical Lady Duchess, and today I'm going to talk about witch facts. Like love, witchcraft is different for every person. There's different genres of it, from the basic Wicca magic to voodoo, hoodooism. There are also witches that believe in Satan and they worship a satanic god. Which is probably one of the most difficult words to define. Its usage and etymology are shrouded in deep history. We cannot provide a definitive explanation, um, but some we are aware that some people have never even met a witch. We can go back to the indigenous people and to Africa and say that witchcraft came from there. And I'm certain that two forms of different magic is still the same thing. We can go back to the Egyptian days. It's just it's just a widely defined term that generalizes everything, so to speak, without going into one particular genre of witchcraft. So, this witch fact is a generalization of witchcraft, okay? It's not one particular one. You know, I got to be specific with y'all because y'all will like try to nail me to the cross by not being specific. So, this is just some questions that I wanted to go over with you guys. Just some frequently asked questions that I've come in contact with, and I'm sure a lot of other witches have too. So let's begin. Do witches believe in God? Most witches believe in a creative force that has a masculine and feminine property and powers to it. Frequently, we refer to goddess and God to describe this energy in a way that the human mind can process. Witches use various pantheons from around the world to symbolize the forces of deity. Some witches do not practice the religion of Wicca at all. Instead, they practice the craft as an art and of science. Most witchcraft traditions teach that all gods are one god, all goddesses are one goddess, and the god and goddess are one, the duality. This is an underlying truth that witches have always understood. The universe is alive, and we refer to it as a living energy by many names. Now, you can say, even the Bible says that God is any and all things and he can be named. Isis has 10,000 names. So, creatively, I think that witches believe in a a God, a universal father, something universal that is stronger than everybody and it created all of these lives. I think that's what, or how I could answer that. I'm not sure. Um, the next question is, what do witches believe about the afterlife? Well, the majority of witches believe in reincarnation. The soul passes through many physical bodies on its way to enlightenment, okay? Some witches envision that the soul entering a summerland between incarnations. Summerland can be equated to nirvana, heaven, Valhalla, Haya, that's Valhalla. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And many witches call this place Avalon, after the sacred island of witches in ancient Britain. Each person's idea of the perfect place to rest and reflect as a personal, almost unique description. Again, this is something some people believe that we are energy, which we are, and they believe that energy does not die. It does not die. It just transcends into something else. We as a pagan belief don't really believe in a heaven and hell. We believe primarily that heaven and hell is somewhere here on earth. It's a place that you make here on earth. So that's how we kind of look at that. Um, let's see. The next question is, do witches worship the devil? Witches do not worship any evil entity. Um, well, I'm gonna say most of them don't. the concept of the devil, most people picture as a Christian one. Witches are not Christians. Even though you can kind of say that there are some witches that do practice Christianity. Hoodoo, for instance, uses a Catholicism, so to speak. They use Catholic, but there's a whole story that goes along with it. You know, when they got here, they couldn't practice witchcraft. They could be killed or hung or whatever. And so a way to kind of mix both with the voodoo and hoodoo is that they put in the Christian, some of the Christian faith, such as the saints. Like the saints mean one thing and they mean another in voodoo. Okay. So with that being said, the concept of the devil, most people they picture it as a Christian one. Most witches are not Christians. Most witches are not Satanists, though some are, and there is nothing wrong with that because I've seen Satanists who, and they refer to themselves as witches too. Um, are some of the nicest people you will ever meet. I don't care what anybody say. I've seen some of the best voodoo priests in the world, and all they do is dark magic. And they are some of the sweetest people in the world. They just believe what they believe. They practice what they practice. It's never for us to judge or try to convert anybody. That's just not what we do. Anyway, some witches, they are Satanists and they don't practice evil magic at all. We would not hurt children or sacrifice animals in any of our rituals. However, it is done. Let's go and get that out of the way. It is done. And if you have a problem with that, I don't really know what to tell you because, I mean, it's done. This lipstick is really bothering me. I'm not digging this color at all. It makes my lips look like they swell or something. I don't know. So I'm just gonna have to wipe that off. Yeah. And no, I'm not doing no editing. And yes, it's on a video. I don't even know how to edit my Facebook. My YouTube videos. Just one take and go. Wait, let me do it with my nose and make the big. No, it's still in there. Okay. Anyway, so back to my witch facts. So we don't hurt children. We don't make animal sacrifices in our rituals, which some do practice that, most do not. That is a older way of doing things. But there's nothing wrong in our belief system that states that we are required to hurt anyone. In fact, witches believe in karma. Most of them do. They believe that whatever you do, it'll be multiplied on you times three. This is a threefold law, coupled with our belief that everyone and everything is alive and peace of a deity exists as the insurance that those who do not hold life all sacred will reap what they sow. However, there are some, in fact, that do not believe in the threefold law at all, and they don't believe in karma. And it's nothing wrong with that either. Do you see how broad this is? The reason why I'm doing this is because so many of you guys think that witchcraft is supposed to be this conformed one way. That's Christianity. Christianity has a L7, a box. Witchcraft does not. The craft does not. Being a pagan does not. You have the freedom to literally do what you want to do, and nobody's going to judge you for it. We're just not gonna do that. The next one was, do witches believe in, or do they have a Bible? Each witch inherits or creates their own book of shadows. There's no universal dogma about that. All of the witches I've ever networked with or I've ever talked to, they believe in the same rule. Known as the Wiccan Reed. If they are a Wiccan or if they're a Druid, they have their own read as well. Voodoo and Hoodoo, they have their own practices. I don't know. It can be expressed like this. If it harms none, do as you will. That's pretty much, Wicca, and the basic witchcraft rule is that, don't harm anybody. However, if they mess with you, I believe you can get their ass back. Anyway, volumes of text exist on store shelves waiting for seekers to uncover the secrets that they contain. But no one can claim that The only scripture of witchcraft is witchcraft or whatever. People write books. I mean, for the sake of educating, no, we don't have a Bible. We have a book of shadows that we create ourselves. Why do witches practice magic? There are hundreds of reasons. There are hundreds of reasons. But some popular motivations include like healing, prosperity, luck, romance, protection, psychic awareness, development, worship, celebration, the marking of more important milestones in our life. Witches know that they have a responsibility to take part in their own development and to assist those in need. Magic is an important part of this function, and it also gives us the tools to manifest great change. There are like certain times that I do more prosperity work for people than I do romance. I mean, I do protection, I do pretty much everything, and most witches do too. Why do witches wear black? So, um, probably about a month or so ago, I was at the store and it's one of my friends who is not into witchcraft like I am. As a matter of fact, she's a Christian. And so when she saw me, she was like, "What's this with the all black thing?" Which lets me know that she's found my YouTube channel some kind of way, and she know what I'm doing. And I guess she wanted me to have like this long explanation. I was like, because I want to. It deflects negativity. Anyway, that's how I felt. I was like, bitch. Okay, anyway. Witches often are associated with the color black. Some would argue that both are evil and represent powers of darkness. Witches know that this is not the case at all. We aren't evil, and neither is the color black. Black is a powerful color in religious symbolism, worn by spiritual representatives of many faiths, such as priests, nuns, rabbis. I mean, few people would accuse the local nunnery of satanic worship, even though so many of them have been found in flowing black robes. Remember Sally Field in The Flying Nun being one of the exceptions, right? So whether they know it or not, religious leaders wear black because the practice carries with the ancient physic truth that, or psychic truth, the physical truth that's always been a part of witchcraft. The color black is like a solar battery, drawing in energy and light, which allows witches to tap into the universal wisdom. Before I even knew that I was a witch per se, I always wore black. And it was not to make my stomach look smaller and my ass look smaller either. All right. Let's see. Are there different types of witches? Oh my God. Yes, hundreds. Like other religious groups, there are like many denominations of witchcraft. These denominations are known as traditions and diversity that exists because the environment in which witchcraft has evolved. In the earliest times of our history, witches were magic makers of the pre-Christian pagan people of the Western Europe and everyone else. Pagan groups such as the Celts were often connected to certain regions or territory. The gods they worshiped were determined by the needs of their particular situations, such as the climate, growing season, and abundance of food. What further fragmented these various types of witchcraft practice was the burning times, where hundreds of thousands of people were hung and burned and tortured under the false charges of witchcraft. As a result of the persecution by religious authorities of the era, the witches who survived went underground, practicing only within their families, passing on secret knowledge of witchcraft to generations. I myself am a fourth generation witch, so I totally understand. Um, when the witches first came out of the broom closet, so to speak, in the early 1950s, many of them were surprised to discover that there were so many others like them because it just wasn't talked about. They were also intrigued that there were many differences brought about centuries of hiding. Today, witches celebrate the diversity within our movement, knowing that it nourishes the beauty and the wisdom of the witchcraft religion. Um, there's many types, many, many, many. No, everybody's not solitary anymore. I was like gray witch and green witch, and I'm just a witch. I love all facets of witchcraft, and my practice and work, it ranges anywhere from a simple Wicca white magic spell to voodoo or hoodoo. It just depends on what I choose to use and how strong I need it to work. That's it. Um, Another question that I get asked a lot is, what is the difference between white magic and black magic? Spells like people have simple, they really don't have a simple category. As far as we are concerned, these labels are kind of misleading at best, and they do not adequately explain magic or the responsibility of the witch. Each individual is responsible for his or her own actions because remember, men are called witches too, not warlocks. Um, it's accountability. It's about being responsible. Each witch, they do their own thing. Even spells done with the best intentions can be manipulative because no one knows what it really is best for someone else. So any spell done for another person to another person or involving another person without that person's permission, they call that like black magic. With their permission, it's like white magic. A responsible witch, they say, don't mess with karma, but whatever. It is what it is, and you are who you are, whatever. Um, can you give me a spell too? Spells are not a cure-all. They do not take the place of hard work. In actuality, they actually add to it. Spells focus on your will and they can help you make the necessary changes in your life. But there's no band aid for everything that is wrong. They're not a band aid for it. You must resolve to work your own issues in every world. The physical world we exist in, meaning the body, the psychological and emotional world of your personality, means your mind. The spirit realms of magic is your soul. When you exert your will in all these things, you can attain your goals. Manifestation, write it down. Spelling words is a spell. Um, at the end of the day, these are just a couple of questions. These are a lot of questions that people have asked me. And in my sense of wanting to teach you guys, this is just my explanation to kind of give you a little bit more, especially as a Black spellcaster, as a African American caster. You find many, of our white sisters and brothers or our white um, our Anglo or Caucasian American family, because we're all a family and sisters and brothers in witchcraft. Um, it's more typical to see them than it is to see someone like me. And I understand that there's a responsibility to that because I am a woman of color. So I try to be very diverse in what I teach. Now, with that being said, no, I do not teach voodoo as such. I teach the basics, but you're not supposed to teach that unless, you have strict permission, but whatever. So this is just my video on some witch facts. I hope that this helped you some. Please, guys, like my video, subscribe to me, watch me, share me. Give me your opinions. I need to know your comments. I need for you to tell me if I'm doing good or not. I need for you to tell me if I'm not explaining it correctly or you need me to talk about something more. I don't know unless you tell me, and I really want to know. Also, if you like the video, tell me what you liked about it. Tell me what you didn't. You won't miss me. Like, it's very hard to offend me because I understand that people are different. They're gonna have their own opinions about everything, and I don't expect everybody to agree with me. So, like, comment, subscribe, share, please. This is my video on witchcraft facts. You can go to my website at www.magicalladyduchess.com, and that's MAGICKAL ladyduchess.com, or you can email me at magicalladyduchess@gmail.com. Anyway, this is my video on witch facts, just trying to educate you guys. Yes, I do readings because people ask me that all the time. I do readings as well as I do work, and my work ranges from everything. So there that is. Talk to you guys later. I hope you enjoyed this video.